My youngest sister, Raindrop, has accused me of SAing her when she was younger.
Ever wondered what secrets lie behind the wild lives of the Alaskan Bush People? Well, Noah Brown, the tech-savvy, often misunderstood member of the Alaskan Bush People, might have kept a secret that counters everything you saw on the show. While the cameras showed the family's tough survival in remote Alaska, there were moments and choices that hinted Noah had something else up his sleeve. Was it ambition? Was it a hidden chapter in his life? Whatever it was, it might just change how you see him and the entire Bush family. Join us as we unveil very shocking details about Noah Brown and the Alaskan Bush People show.
I made it. I am now in Alaska. They checked my paperwork.
Noah Brown, the quiet inventor. Before the Alaskan Bush People TV show ended, rumors circulated suggesting that the show wasn't entirely real and that some parts were scripted. However, others believed the Brown family was living their normal lives in the wild and giving a glimpse of it to the public. No doubt anyone who paid attention to the show would agree that some things felt off about it. This is probably what Noah Brown never wanted people to know. Before we go into the details, let's know who Noah is. Noah Brown became known to millions through the reality TV show Alaskan Bush People, where he and his family lived off the grid in remote parts of Alaska and later in Washington state. Unlike most people who grow up surrounded by technology and modern conveniences, Noah was raised to survive in the wild. He was born on the 18th of July, 1992 in Alaska. His parents, Billy and Amy Brown, believed in living close to nature and away from mainstream society. They taught their 7 children how to build homes, hunt for food, and rely on each other in extreme conditions. From early on, Noah stood out as the thoughtful, inventive one in the family. He wasn't just chopping wood or fishing, he was always thinking of ways to make their rugged life easier. Fans noticed how he came up with tools and small inventions, like a homemade air conditioner made with buckets and ice, or clever fixes for everyday problems in the wild. While his brothers were more focused on physical survival, Noah brought something different. He was the brains behind many of the family's solutions. However, despite his busy schedule, he still managed to find love. Noah met Rain Alicia in Hoona, Alaska on the 15th of August, 2016, while she was traveling through the area. At the time, Noah was with his family, and they were dealing with his mother Amy's cancer treatment. Despite the challenges, Noah and Rain connected quickly and started dating. Their relationship grew stronger over the next 2 years. On the 17th of April 2018, Noah proposed to Rain during a romantic hike in Juneau, Alaska at sunset. He even designed the engagement ring himself, which made the moment extra special. They got married exactly 2 years after they met, on the 15th of August 2018 in Idaho. The wedding was small and intimate, with about 25 guests, mostly family members, which gave viewers a glimpse of how much Noah valued privacy. Noah wore a suit, and Rain wore a white gown from David's bridal. Although the Brown family usually dressed rugged for the wild, they all dressed up for the occasion. The couple said they were excited to start their life together and build new memories as a family. It was a sweet beginning to their journey, even though things later took a different turn. Before and after their marriage, their relationship was watched closely by fans. Unlike the rest of the Brown family who grew up in the wilderness, Rain came from a different background. The couple had 2 sons together, and for a while it seemed like they were building a strong family unit. However, in early 2025, Noah confirmed that he and Rain had separated. He opened up to fans about it, saying he had moved out and was searching for a new place to live near Tonasket or Oroville, Washington. It was a rare moment of vulnerability that showed a more human side of him beyond the camera character. What led to their separation? Was that part of what Noah never wanted people to know? Stay tuned and we'll find out. Years later, the show ended, but Noah still stayed in touch with fans, mostly through social media. He doesn't post often, but when he does, he shares real updates, no drama, just honesty. He has talked about co-parenting, personal challenges, and what he is looking for in the next chapter of his life. Many people appreciate that he didn't just disappear when the cameras stopped rolling. He's still very much present, trying to figure things out like anyone else. Financially, Noah did well from the show. Reports say he earned over $60,000 per year, and his estimated net worth sits around $1 million. That may sound like a lot, but considering the rough terrain and lifestyle they endured to make the show work, it wasn't just money. It was years of effort, storytelling, and family dynamics shared with the world. At heart, Noah Brown is a blend of wilderness survival and quiet intelligence. He's not flashy or loud, and he's certainly not trying to be famous. He's simply a man who grew up in a unique way, learned how to think creatively, and now faces life's ups and downs just like the rest of us. His journey continues, not on camera, but in the day-to-day choices he makes for himself and his children. However, the question of what Noah never wanted people to know still lingers. Was there something about the show that they never wanted out in the public? Was the show actually faked, like many speculated? Before we unveil the truth, let's look at what the Alaskan Bush People show was all about.
1,500 miles south, the Browns Mountain has also received its first snowfall of the season.
Life in the Wild, the Alaskan Bush People. Alaskan Bush People is a reality TV show that aired on the Discovery Channel. It followed the Brown family, a group of 9 people who chose to live far away from modern society. Instead of living in cities or towns, they built their own homes in the wilderness, hunted for food, and tried to survive using nature. The show started in 2014 and ran for 14 seasons, ending in 2022. The family was led by Billy Brown, the father, and his wife, Amy Brown. They had 7 children: Matt, Joshua Bam Bam, Bear, Gabe, Noah, Snowbird, and Rain. Billy believed in living off the grid, which means no electricity, no internet, and no modern comforts. He wanted his family to be strong, independent, and close to nature. They called themselves the Wolf Pack because they stuck together like a pack of wolves. The show was filmed in Alaska at first, in places like Chichagof Island and Copper Center. Later, the family moved to Washington State, where they continued their off-grid lifestyle. Viewers watched them build cabins, fish in rivers, hunt animals, and deal with harsh weather. Each episode showed how they worked together to survive and solve problems in the wild. However, not everything was perfect. Some people questioned if the show was real. Critics said parts of it seemed scripted or fake. For example, the family sometimes stayed in hotels or used modern tools off camera. However, many fans loved the show because it showed a different way of life, one that was simple, raw, and full of adventure. In 2021, Billy Brown passed away after suffering a seizure. His demise was a big moment for the family and the show. After that, things changed. Ami faced health problems, and the children started living their own lives. Some stayed close to the family, while others moved away or started new projects. Matt, the oldest son, left the show early and moved to California. He has a YouTube channel where he talks about his life. Bam Bam took a break but came back later. Bear got married and had children. Gabe also started a family. Noah, the youngest son, became known for his inventions and quiet personality. Snowbird and Rain, the daughters, stayed close to their mother, Amy. The show ended quietly in 2022 with no official announcement. Even though it's no longer on TV, fans still follow the Brown family online. They post updates, share photos, and talk about their lives after the show. Some people miss the show and hope it comes back, but for now, the family is living their lives away from the spotlight. However, despite the Brown family's efforts to present a united front to the public, some cracks gave them away. Hidden family problems and conflicts. The Brown family from Alaskan Bush. People looked strong and united on TV, but behind the scenes, things weren't always so perfect. Over the years, several hidden family conflicts came to light, some quietly, others very publicly. These issues didn't always make it into the episodes, but fans who followed the family closely started to notice cracks in the wolf pack. One of the biggest conflicts involved Matt Brown, the oldest son. He left the show in 2016 and didn't return. At first, people didn't know why, but later it came out that Matt had been struggling with alcohol dependence. He went to rehab and tried to get better, but his relationship with the rest of the family became strained. He said in interviews and social media posts that he felt left out and unsupported. There were also serious accusations made against him by two women connected to the show, which made things even more complicated. Matt lives away from the family, and before the show ended, he stopped appearing in any of their updates. Another problem the Brown family faced was Billy Brown's failing health. Billy, the father figure from Alaskan Bush People, had been dealing with serious health problems for years before he passed away. It started with breathing issues. He often felt like he couldn't catch his breath. At first, he thought it was just his lungs, but doctors later found out it was actually his heart that was struggling. He also had kidney problems and had been in and out of the hospital several times. In 2019, he had surgery because his breathing got really bad. Doctors warned him that living in high places like mountains was making things worse, but Billy didn't want to change his lifestyle. He loved living off the grid, close to nature, and didn't want to give that up. Then, in early February 2021, while at home on the family's ranch in Washington, Billy had a seizure, a sudden medical emergency where the brain loses control of the body for a moment. His family and the film crew tried to help. They called 911 and emergency workers came quickly, but sadly they couldn't save him. He was 68 years old when he passed away. His son Bear shared the news, saying they were heartbroken and that Billy had always lived life on his own terms. Billy had even said shortly before his demise that he knew he wouldn't be around forever, and he wanted to make sure his family stayed strong and close. His passing was a huge loss, not just for his family, but for fans who had followed their journey for years. The Browns leaned on each other for support, and his wife, Amy, was described as the rock who held everyone together. However, after his demise, another conflict struck the family. There were disagreements about money and control. Billy had made a lot of money from the Alaskan Bush People show, but the money wasn't shared equally. Only Billy was officially getting paid. So when he passed, things got confusing. A former business partner came forward saying Billy owed him hundreds of thousands from an old deal. At the same time, Billy hadn't clearly said who should handle his estate or any debts. This legal battle caused tension among the family members and raised questions about how the money was being handled. That put Amy, the matriarch of the family, in a tight spot as she became the one in charge, but she claimed she wasn't responsible for Billy's promises. As if that wasn't enough, some of the children, especially Matt, felt used. He said he worked hard for the show but never received proper payment. That stirred up tension in the family. No one knew who really had control or how to sort the mess out. Bear Brown, one of the sons, also faced legal trouble. In 2022, he was arrested near the family's ranch in Washington for something called fourth-degree domestic violence. He was accused of hurting someone in his household, which in this case was his wife, Raven. Bear and Raven were moving into a camping trailer when they suddenly got into a big argument. Raven said Bear started yelling and acting crazy. She told the police that he tried to take her phone and pushed her down on the bed. She also said he held her down with one hand on her hip and the other on her arm. Her family members were on the phone with her at the time and said they heard her yell, "Ow, you're hurting me," and heard Bear call her names. When the police came, they saw a scratch on Raven's finger but no other injuries. Bear told them he only tried to grab her phone and didn't hurt her. Unfortunately, the police didn't believe that was enough, so they arrested him and took him to jail. Bear was released a few days later without having to pay bail. Later, he accepted a plea deal, which means he agreed to settle the case without going to trial. He said the charges were unfounded and hoped the truth would come out. This whole situation shocked fans because Bear was always seen as the wild, adventurous one on the show. This also showed a side of his life that wasn't on camera. It made people wonder what was really happening behind the scenes. Added to that, there were also quiet conflicts between siblings. Some of the Brown children started living their own lives and didn't always agree with each other. Noah moved out and later separated from his wife, Rain. They were married for 6 years and things seemed good initially. They had 2 sons together and looked like one of the more stable couples in the Brown family, but behind the scenes things weren't so smooth. The problem started when Noah's sister Rain got involved. Noah said Rain was threatening him and stalking his family. That made things tense at home. Eventually, Rain asked Noah to move out of their main house. He ended up living in a guest cabin nearby. Later, they made a video together where they said they were separating. They didn't fight in the video. They just said it was best for both of them. Noah said he still sees his children on weekends, but he has to message Rain before visiting the house. After that, Noah talked to lawyers and said he wouldn't fight over the house or property. He even said he had stopped mentioning Rain on social media because she asked him not to. On the other hand, Gabe and Bear also had a falling out over something as simple as a boat. Gabe felt Noah was trying to take control of it, and that sparked a bit of a feud. It might sound small, but in a family where everything is shared and they live so close together, even little things can turn into big problems. Gabe also started pulling away from the spotlight after Billy passed. He became more private and didn't appear much in later episodes. Some fans noticed he seemed distant, and there were rumors that he wasn't getting along with certain family members. However, Gabe never spoke out publicly about any deep conflict. While he wasn't involved in legal trouble like Bear or family drama like Noah, Gabe did have moments of tension, mostly quiet ones that showed he preferred to stay out of the chaos. However, that wasn't all the conflict associated with the Brown family name. She had a really rough time with her brother Noah. He said she was threatening him, getting herself involved with substances, and even offered their mom cocaine to help with a headache. He was scared enough to ask the court for a restraining order, but the judge didn't grant it. That whole situation put their family under tension. Then there's what happened with Rain and her husband Josiah. In April 2025, they were arrested. Police said they broke into someone's house, damaged things, and entered where they weren't supposed to. Rain said she was trying to get back money, about $43,000 that she believed her manager stole from her. She also said that this person emotionally hurt her. After the arrest, she posted a Bible verse online and hinted that there's more to the story. Aside from all that, Rain's had emotional struggles growing up in the spotlight. She's posted messages that seemed sad or angry, and fans saw her acting out sometimes, like flipping off cameras with her husband. People think a lot of her behavior might be because of pressure, pain, or feeling misunderstood. Snowbird Brown, on the other hand, has stayed mostly out of scandal territory. Her biggest public challenge was a health scare in 2022, when she underwent surgery for ovarian tumors. She didn't talk much about it at first, but fans saw her crying in the hospital during the show. That moment showed how scared and vulnerable she was. She later said she didn't want to tell her family right away because she didn't want to worry them. Since then, she's been sharing updates and connecting with fans through her YouTube channel. She's kept things low-key and hasn't been involved in any legal drama. Aside from these conflicts, Amy Brown, the family matriarch, also had her fair share of struggles. Back in 2017, she was diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer. The cancer was already pretty advanced and spreading. She had to go through chemotherapy and radiation, strong treatments that can make people feel very weak and sick. At one point, doctors said she only had a small chance of surviving, but Amy didn't give up. She stayed strong and kept fighting. Then in February 2025, she had another health scare. She started having trouble breathing and was rushed to the hospital. Her daughter Snowbird said Amy had pneumonia, which is a serious lung infection. It got so bad that doctors had to put her under anesthesia to help her body rest and heal. After a few weeks in the hospital, Amy got better and was discharged. Her son Bear said she was feeling stronger, and her breathing and heart were doing well. Fans were pleased to see her smiling again in a video with her daughter Rain. Rain and Snowbird stayed close to Amy, but not all the siblings kept in touch. Fans noticed that they didn't post pictures together or mention each other much online. It seemed like the family was slowly drifting apart. Even the show itself became part of the conflict. After season 14 ended in 2022, there was no news about a new season. Some people believed the family didn't want to continue, while others thought the network pulled the plug because of all the drama and legal issues. Either way, the silence spoke volumes.
Today, I turned 33 years old. I am 30 years older.
The truth about Noah Brown's off-camera projects. When people think of Noah Brown from Alaskan Bush People, they usually picture him building strange machines in the woods or helping his family survive off the grid. However, when the cameras stop rolling, Noah's life is a lot more complicated and interesting than most fans realize. After the show started getting popular, Noah began working on his own projects. He didn't just want to be seen as the tech guy on TV. He wanted to prove he could do more, so he started building things, real things. He made homemade machines, water filters, battery banks, and even furniture. He used old parts, scraps, and whatever he could find. Some people thought his inventions were genius. Others thought they were too complicated, but Noah didn't care. He just kept building. He also got into filming and editing videos. He created short clips showcasing his inventions and shared them online. He wanted people to see what he could do without the help of a big TV crew. He even talked about making his own show someday, where he could teach survival tricks and show how to build things from scratch. However, not everything was smooth. With the family drama and conflicts that surrounded him, he was destabilized. The family that once seemed perfect suddenly began falling apart. When his marriage to Rain hit the rocks, he knew it was time to take a different turn and fix a life for himself away from the Brown family. It was undeniable that with the issues involving him and his siblings, their bond was never going to remain the same. This further encouraged him to pull away. Even with all that going on, Noah kept working on his projects. He said he wanted to build a better future for his children. He focused on creating products that could help people live off the grid, such as solar-powered tools and water systems. He also talked about using nature as inspiration. For example, he looked at how plants collect water and tried to copy that in his designs. Some fans say Noah is a genius. Others say he's just doing too much, but one thing's clear. He's not just sitting around waiting for the next episode. He's building, learning, and trying to make something real. What the fans missed. Noah grew up in front of cameras. From the outside, it looked like he was living a wild, adventurous life in the woods with his family. However, behind the scenes, things weren't always as perfect as they seemed. One of the biggest things members of the Alaskan Bush People probably didn't want people to know was that the show wasn't always 100% real. Yes, they lived off the grid sometimes, but not all the time. There were moments when the family stayed in hotels or had help from producers. Whether this was part of the plan or not, it went a long way to fuel questions. They didn't like talking about that because they wanted fans to believe in the lifestyle they showed on TV. However, one undeniable truth is that living in the bush was not exactly an easy experience, considering the dangers that came with the lifestyle. The Brown family may have made it look fun, but it was also tough and scary. Noah Brown never truly revealed how hard it was to deal with fame. He's a private person, and being on TV made him feel exposed. People judged him for how he talked, dressed, and acted. He once said that fans didn't really know him. They only knew the version of him that was edited for the show. That made him feel misunderstood and frustrated. Noah also didn't want people to know how much tension there was in the family. Who would? Anyone would give up anything to protect their family's image. Off camera, there were fights, disagreements, and hurt feelings. That kind of drama wasn't shown on TV, and Noah didn't like talking about it publicly. Then there's the money. He didn't get paid directly for the show like his father, Billy, did. Billy had the contract, and he gave money to the children whenever and however he wanted. Noah worked hard, but he didn't always feel appreciated. After Billy passed away, things got even more confusing. There were lawsuits, arguments over control, and stress about who should handle the family's money. Noah didn't want fans to see that side of things because it made the family look broken. His marriage also became a private struggle. That was another part of his life he didn't want fans to dig into. Unfortunately, the public still found out about it. As shocking as it may sound, Noah probably never wanted people to know how lonely he felt. Even though he was surrounded by family, he often felt like he didn't fit in. He wanted to build things, invent tools, and explore ideas, but sometimes his dreams didn't match the family's plans. He started working on his own projects, making machines, filming videos, and trying to create something that was truly his. However, he kept most of that quiet because he didn't want to be judged or misunderstood. The truth is, Noah Brown's life was way more complicated than what people saw on Alaskan Bush People. He dealt with fake moments, family drama, money problems, emotional stress, and the pressure of being someone he didn't always want to be. He stayed quiet about a lot of it because he wanted to protect his privacy and keep the image of the show alive. Despite all that, his quiet determination to prove himself remains intact. He may not be perfect, but he's definitely not boring. In the end, Alaskan Bush People was more than a TV show. It showed a family trying to live differently, but real life caught up with them. Fame, money, personal struggles, and loss all played a part in the hidden conflicts that fans didn't see on screen. The Browns are still around, but they're no longer the tight-knit group they once appeared to be. While some members have chosen to stay quiet, others have started sharing their truth piece by piece. Despite the drama and conflicts that arose, we cannot deny that Alaskan Bush People was an interesting show. Whether you believe that it was scripted and wasn't 100% real, the Browns left a mark on reality TV and gave people a glimpse of life beyond the grid. However, despite the show's popularity and long run, many people wonder why Alaskan Bush People has not received any formal awards or nominations from major television institutions like the Emmys or Critics' Choice. Maybe it will in the near future. What are your thoughts on Noah Brown's life off the camera? Do you believe the rumors about the Alaskan Bush People show? What are the possibilities that the family will return to our screens again? If you ever had the opportunity, would you ever consider living in the bush away from civilization? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Before you go, watch the other videos on your screen.